بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. After the battle of Badr ended, the Prophet ﷺ ended with 70 prisoners of war, and he did not know what to do with them. So as usual, he consulted his companions. And this consultation is not mandatory in the sense that if they said something and they've all agreed upon, the leader should follow it. No, it's not like this. It's only as an advisory role. He seeks their consultation, their advice, but if he does not want to take it, it's up to him. Abu Bakr was the soft one, in the sense that he said, they are our cousins and brothers, and inshallah, we hope and pray that someday they will accept Islam. So I recommend that we take ransom. This money would help us in our nation, this newly born nation of Islam, and also it would make them feel the heat of losing money and losing in the battle. On the other side was Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, who was a strong Muslim in taking decisions. He thought, and he recommended to the Prophet ﷺ that, I don't think that this is a good idea. I think that we should execute every single prisoner, and the executioner of each person would be his brother, his son, or his father, or at least one of his relatives, so that the people of Quraysh would know that we mean business. We're not fooling around here. It's not for political gain or for economical gain. It is to have the word of Allah prevailing over everything else. And along with Umar was Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, the leader of the Aus, the tribe of Aus of Medina, of the Ansar, and also there was Abdullah ibn Rawaha, one of the leaders, one of the poets of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ praised both Abu Bakr and Umar, but he chose the opinion of Abu Bakr, and he decided to take the ransom from the people of Quraysh for their prisoners. A while afterwards, Umar reports, may Allah be pleased with him, that he went to visit the Prophet ﷺ, and he saw the Prophet and Abu Bakr crying. So he said, why are you guys crying? Tell me, because if I find it something worthy of crying, I'll cry with you. If not, I'll just fake it. But I can't see you do something and I'm not doing it with you. So the Prophet said, ﷺ, I've seen the punishment beyond that tree. It was so close to coming to us. And if Allah Azza wa Jal had punished us for taking and accepting the prisoners, only Umar would be exempted, because he gave the true advice. And Allah revealed the following verses from the Quran. Allah Almighty says, it is not fitting for a prophet that he should have prisoners of war until he has thoroughly subdued the land. You look for the temporary goods of this world, but Allah looks for the hereafter. And Allah is exalted in might and wise. Had it not been for the previous ordainment from Allah, a severe penalty, a severe punishment would have reached you for the ransom that you took. But now, enjoy that what you took in war, lawful and good, but fear Allah, for Allah is oft forgiven, most merciful. These verses show completely that the Prophet ﷺ made the wrong choice. But Allah Azza wa Jal, the most merciful, forgave that mistake that the Prophet did out of his own judgment, and told us that it's okay for you to accept this ransom, and you have to learn and know that Allah Azza wa Jal is merciful, because otherwise you would have been punished for this decision that you have made. The Prophet ﷺ gave the prisoners to his companions. They did not have any camps or prisons. So each prisoner was given to a companion or a family. And he also instructed them to do what they can to give them an honorable life, to treat them well, to the extent that it was reported of one of the prisoners, he's saying that the Prophet told them to treat us well. And the one who I was in his custody, he used to have bread and dates. And never ever he had the bread. He always gave me the bread to the prisoner. Of course, the bread is much better than dates, because you can eat 1 or 2, maximum 3, and then it doesn't feel good. And every time I reject it, they never touch it. Say, sorry, we can't. Although you are a polytheist, you're a non-Muslim, although you're a prisoner of war, but our Prophet instructed us to be kind to you.
So you're saying that as prisoners, they still had rights?
They still had lots of rights. You cannot beat them, you cannot torture them, you cannot abuse them. They are prisoners of war. You can hold them, you can capture them, you can imprison them, but you have to be fair to them. It's inhumane to treat a prisoner simply because he is following a religion different than yours in an inhumane way. You're not allowed to do this. You have to treat them fairly and justly. And this is what makes people revert to Islam.
So did Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, did he decide to execute the disbelievers, the prisoners, because he wanted to send a message to Quraysh, the tribe in Mecca, that they are serious in their way
of
to
course.
Call for Islam?
Yes.
Or because he feared of their danger, because they are dangerous still, and they were warriors in the battle?
No. Umar was not afraid of anything, may Allah be pleased with him. When Umar embraced Islam, all the Muslims were concealing their Islam. So when he embraced Islam, immediately the transformation took place in seconds. It said, O Prophet of Allah, why are we hiding? Why aren't we showing the people our true belief? And everybody was afraid. So he said, listen, follow me. One line follows me, and the other line follows Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib, the 2 bravest soldiers of Islam. And they went to the masjid in 2 lines, and they prayed there, and not a single one of the polytheists would dare and talk one word, because they knew they were facing someone who is so brave that they do not have the capability to stand in front of him. Umar ibn Khattab was not afraid of the polytheists becoming back and fighting with them, because he would fight them and kill them as they did in Badr. So it's a piece of cake for him. But he wanted to send the message to the whole world that all the ties between us and you are broken. We have only one tie, and that is Islam. You accept Islam, you become closer to me than my flesh and blood. You are my brother. And this is exactly what happened with Mus'ab ibn Umair and his brother. One of his brother was called Abu Aziz, and he was captured as a prisoner. So Mus'ab ibn Umair, as we know, is the envoy and the messenger of our Prophet ﷺ to Medina. He was the first to go to Medina and to teach people Quran and to call them to Islam. Mus'ab ibn Umair and this is a footnote, he was one of the richest young boys of Mecca, to the extent that if he passed over an alley, people would know an hour later that Mus'ab passed there from his perfume. He was the best in clothing, in the way he dressed, the way he used the perfumes. Every woman in Mecca wanted to marry him. When he embraced Islam, his life transformed completely. He was deprived of his pocket money, of his belongings. His mother tried to torture him. His mother tried to put him in captivity, imprison him, so that he goes back on his religion. He would not. Mus'ab ibn Umair went to Medina and he called the people to Islam. When he saw his brother, Abu Aziz, he told the man who was tying him up, he said, make your knots firm, tie him really hard, because his mother is very rich and she'll pay a lot for him. So Abu Aziz looked at his brother Mus'ab. He said, brother, this is the good recommendation you put for me? This is what you say? Instead of telling him, take care of him? He told him, Abu Aziz, he is more of a brother to me than you. Because the relationship between me and between that man who is capturing you and tying you up, he is my brother in Islam. While my relationship with you is brotherhood in genes and whatever. So my relationship to this Muslim is far greater and bigger than my relationship to you. The Prophet ﷺ gave the companions these prisoners. What to do with them? Well, they requested ransom. At the very beginning, the polytheists said to themselves and agreed not to pay anything. Because if we are not going to pay anything, they will reduce the money they're asking for. So it's demand and an offer. So if we do not demand anything, the offer will go down and down and down. And they agreed upon this. One of them could not wait. He went in the middle of the night and got his son free and paid for him 4,000 dirhams. 4,000. And that's a lot of money. But to compare apple to apple, with 1 dirham, you could buy a sheep. So you do the math. So if with 4,000 you could buy lots of 4,000 sheep, then this means that you're paying at least like $10,000 or $15,000 or euros. Just a lot of money. So the minute this man paid the 4,000, it was said to be the standard. Whoever wanted to free his son or relative, he should pay 4,000. And some of them did not have money. So it was made that anyone who could not pay the ransom should teach 10 children of the Muslims how to read and write. I believe that we have a break, so stay tuned, inshallah. We will be right back.
Back to the Prophet. Join Sheikh Ammar in the program Back to the Prophet, wherein he teaches us practical lessons from the Prophet's life and how this can help us to overcome our challenges in the present.
We talk about the life example of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, seeking guidance for ourselves. In the early days after the revelation of the Holy Quran, the Muslims were greatly persecuted, so much so that quite a few Muslims had to leave Arabia and migrate to Africa to live among Ahl Kitab, Christian people who followed the gospel of Christ.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Among the prisoners of war was Amr ibn Abi Sufyan ibn Harb. And we know that Abu Sufyan did not contribute in the battle. Why was that?
Because he guided the caravan.
Yes, that's true.
elsewhere.
Because he fled with the caravan, so he saved the money of the people of Quraysh, and he requested them, just go back. Your money is safe and sound. Don't fight. They wouldn't comply. So he had a son. He had two sons of his there. Amr ibn Abi Sufyan and Hanzala ibn Abi Sufyan. Hanzala died, was killed on the battlefield, while Amr was captured. So he said, by Allah, I will not pay the ransom for my son.
So why didn't they kill his son?
He was imprisoned. Because if someone drops his weapon and says, I give up, you imprison him. But if someone is defiant and he's fighting you, you have to kill him.
Okay.
So he surrendered because he thought that it was inevitable that he's going to die. Like the same thing that happened with Umayyah ibn Khalaf. Umayyah ibn Khalaf went to Abdurrahman ibn Auf and told him, take me as a prisoner and I'll pay you as much ransom as you want. And he took him. And then at the end, he could not save him because Bilal ibn Rabah was furious and wanted to take revenge from the man who used to torture him for the past, Allah knows how long. And Abu Sufyan waited until one of the companions, Ibn Nu'man, Sa'ad or Sa'id ibn Nu'man, came for performing Umrah. And he captured him and took him as a prisoner. And this was a grave and serious offense, because the haram, people who enter it are supposed to be secure and safe. And this guy is coming for Umrah. And he took him as a prisoner, so the Prophet ﷺ exchanged this companion with his son Amr ibn Abi Sufyan. Among the prisoners was also a man called Abu al-As ibn al-Rabi'. This man was the son-in-law of the Prophet ﷺ. He was married to his daughter Zainab bint Muhammad. May Allah be pleased with her. Now, he did not accept Islam. And he was a famous merchant. And he was unlike the sons of Abu Lahab, who happened to be the uncle of the Prophet ﷺ. Two of his sons were married to two of the daughters, to the Prophet's daughters. And once the Prophet ﷺ came with Islam, they divorced his daughters in rejection to his message. While Abu al-As ibn al-Rabi' refused to do that because he loved his wife. He was captured and he was imprisoned. So his wife, Zainab, sent a necklace that was given to her by Khadija, her mother, bint Khuwaylid, on her wedding day. And she sent it as a message and a ransom to the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ, when he saw that necklace, he felt strange emotions. He was so soft to it because he loved Khadija so much, to the extent that her love was overwhelming. You love people because you like to be with them. This is understandable. And when they're away from you, you feel sort of wanting to see them again. You are with people because it's fun to be with them, or at least there is mercy between you and them. Some of us marry and they live their lives with their wives, not loving them in the sense that you have this strong feeling inside you whenever they're away from you. It eats you, and you're sleepless nights and you can't eat. This is not love. This is a disease. This is an obsession. True love is to care and cherish for someone. And when they're away, you have these feelings of love towards them. And when they're close, you do what you can to please them. The Prophet ﷺ never loved anyone as he loved Khadija. She was his first wife. And he stayed with her ﷺ for a long period of time, approximately 20 years. He stayed with her, never married another one or another wife while she was with him. And the Prophet tells us, ﷺ, that the 4 top women of Jannah, among them is Khadija bint Khuwaylid. And no matter what they did, he could never ever forget her, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whenever her name was mentioned, he felt so emotional whenever he remembered her, to the extent that Aisha, who was the most beloved wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he once heard a voice, and this voice was the sister of Khadija bint Khuwaylid, may Allah be pleased with her. Her name was Hala. So he used to send her gifts, he used to send her food, he used to do whatever he can to connect with Khadija through her. So he heard her voice and he said, "Oh Allah, is this Hala?" You know, he just heard the voice. He was in his room with Aisha. So Aisha was frustrated and she said, "Prophet of Allah, how many times you mention this dead old woman, Khadija, who Allah Azza wa Jal has given you far better women than her." Imagine this. Now this is a young woman who is the beloved wife of the Prophet ﷺ, complaining and jealous of the times that the Prophet ﷺ is mentioning Khadija, who died 10 years ago. Yet still he has this love in him, for her. And the Prophet ﷺ was angry with Aisha. He said, "By Allah, I was not replaced with better than Khadija. Don't think so high of yourself. She believed in me when everybody else thought that I was lying. She supported me when everybody else left me. She, Allah Azza wa Jal, through her gave me the children, my sons and daughters, while I was deprived from having any children from any of the wives that I had afterwards, of course with the exception of Ibrahim, who died as a child from Maria." So once she heard this, she said, "By Allah, I swear that I will never mention Khadija anymore." Whenever Khadija's name was mentioned, the Prophet ﷺ felt so soft, so emotional. So when he saw that necklace coming to him from Zainab, he couldn't help it. He spoke to the companions and told them that this is the necklace coming from my daughter Zainab for her husband Abu al-As. If you wish, you can do him a favor and set him free. And if you don't, this is up to you. Immediately, all the companions stood up and said, "By Allah, we swear that this is for Allah Azza wa Jal and His Messenger. How dare we have the son-in-law of the Prophet imprisoned under us?" So they set him free. Abu al-As immediately went to Mecca, and because he was an honest man, he was entrusted with their merchants and savings and deposits. He gave everybody else their deposits and their money. He went back to Medina, and then he said, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh." He embraced Islam. And he did not want to do this while he was in prison, so that people would not say he did this because he was imprisoned. And he accepted Islam. The Prophet ﷺ gave him his wife back again. And also this is something that we should consider. If a lady embraces Islam while the husband is still a non-Muslim, she may not stay with him. They have to separate. If she remarries, then the marriage contract has been void with her non-Muslim husband. But if she stay unmarried for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and then the non-Muslim husband reverts to Islam, they become Muslim again, do we renew the contract and make a new contract?
No.
The answer is no. The marriage is still existing because she did not marry after she embraced Islam, and that whole period she was still considered to be his wife, but he is not allowed to see her or to have intercourse with her or to treat her as a wife.
So, if, say, a Christian, two Christians, and one became a Muslim, the wife became a Muslim, and the husband became a Muslim after, would they have to make another nikah?
No, they don't. If she did not remarry after him,
But based on how a Christian marriage is, where, you know, it's in the church.
Still. Even if she is
Still
not
valid.
a Christian, yes, if she was a polytheist, if she was a fire worshipper, whatever marriage contract that was accepted in their religion, if they revert to Islam, you do not make a new nikah. You do not make a new marriage because it is the same as it was before, providing that the woman did not marry again. Because if she reverts to Islam and he stayed on his own old religion, and after 5 or 6 months she decided to marry another Muslim, that's her right. She marries another Muslim, then the old contract is over.
Then what would happen if she remarried and the
divorced?
husband
Too late for him.
It's too late.
Yes, if the husband, the Christian husband or the non-Muslim husband reverted to Islam, it's too late because she is already married and it's a different situation. Going back to the prisoners of war, Abu al-As ibn Rabi' accepted Islam and alhamdulillah, everything was settled. Now back among the prisoners, there was also a man by the name of Wahb ibn Umayr ibn Wahb al-Jumahi. And his father was Umayr ibn Wahb, one of the eyes that Abu Jahl sent before the Battle of Badr to try to calculate the number of the soldiers and if there were any ambushes here or there. And he came back to Abu Jahl telling him that there are only 310 or 20 men only. And there are no supports for them, there are no reinforcements, there are no ambushes here or there. But I'm telling you, the people that I saw, I can see death coming from their swords. They're not normal people. They are there with a mission. And they don't look like us. We're in full armor. And yet, you can tell by looking at us that we're not serious. These guys are dead serious. They're coming for a cause. So I give you the advice of, let's go back. Like Utbah ibn Rabi'a advised you, and like Abu Sufyan ibn Harb requested. And Al-Akhnas ibn Shariq also advised you. And they would not comply. This man had an event in Medina, but I'm afraid that we have to postpone this until we meet next time. So until then, fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.